Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. This is live Q&A. It is January 30th, 2017. I'll be answering your questions both posted in the YouTube chat and on our Slack channel and Q&A. If you want to join that Slack chat, you can see a link in the description below. Just a couple quick reminders before we start. I don't answer every question. I answer the ones I find interesting. Repeatedly asking the same question or in all caps does not actually get it answered. In fact, usually tends to have the negative event. I don't know when Game A is coming out. And, well, I don't know. There's also a FAQ that I have in the description, a link to that. So if you have questions, you can go there. Okay, so let's get started. Answering some questions here. Asmodee recently acquired Edge Entertainment, which is the leading board game distributor here in Spain. Edge used to distribute games from a lot of other publishers, though. From your experience, do you think these international acquisitions usually mean they will probably publish Asmodee games only from now on? I don't know. It seems like that would be a bad move for them because then another distributor comes in and carries all the other games. So I'm not sure. Would they give preference to their games? Probably. But we'll have to wait and see. Please add the Indiegogo link in the description. Well, I guess I could do that. The Indiegogo is almost over. And if you still want to back it, you are welcome to do so. I certainly would not argue about that. What are we at right now? 256. Well, we just might have that live marathon, the second one coming. So let me get this down here. Our fundraiser is here. All right. There we go. I've saved that. All right, sorry about that. Let's get back to questions here. Okay, so lots of questions. Do you think... Okay, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I don't play many splatter games. So the ones I've played so far I don't really like. I've never really gone out of my way to get any of them. I mean, I would probably, if you twisted my arm, I'd probably play Roads and Boats or Antiquity or something like that. But it'd have to be in the right place, right time. I know these games are quite lengthy and long. I'm sure they're very good games. I just haven't got around to it. They're also not very widespread, and they usually have pretty bad production values, at least artwork-wise, so I'm not really that keen on them. There's just a lot of things negatively in their direction, that's all. Am I happy with how the fundraising event went this year compared to how it went on Kickstarter last year? Well, I think so. It looks good. I mean, we at least look like we're going to come close to meeting the same amount we had last year, and so we survived last year, so we'll survive this year. So there's things that we're always going to work and change on. One of the things we're going to work on is having more live streaming. And I guess I'll start looking for a studio now. But that's going to take a lot of work, so I don't know how long the live stream would really jump up once that happens. Am I going to UK Games Expo? I am. What do you think the ramifications of PAX Unplugged will have on BGGCon for publishers, consumers, and media? I don't think we'll have any impact on gamers, right? The gamers who are going to BGGCon were going to probably go anyway, except for maybe the ones who were like wavering anyway or couldn't get in, and hey, they got another place to go to. Maybe the new premium BGG tickets will chase some people away, but I don't think so. I think for the most part, you're going to see different crowds at both of them, and maybe location in the country will matter too. I still think that's a terrible time to have a convention the week before Thanksgiving, period. For publishers, that's a different story. I mean, it's going to be hard to pass up PAX Unplugged. That's a lot of things. So some publishers will split. There's some publishers that are pretty tied into the BGG crowd, so I think they're going to show up there anyway. I don't think you'll see a lot of publishers leave BGG. Some of the bigger ones like Simon or Asmodee and stuff, I'm sure they'll have a booth at PAX Unplugged. And you'll see some games that are very thematic in nature or already have ties to PAX. The Greater Than Games comes to mind. I think would choose that one. For media, Who knows? Like, you asking me, I'd love to go, but it's a couple weeks before the cruise. So if we went, it would be a, hey, how's it going, everybody? We're here to visit. Okay, now we're leaving. But the problem is that hotel rooms and flights are expensive. And I don't really know anyone in the Philadelphia area. So we'll see. We'll see. For those who went on the Dice Tower cruise, you'll be hearing from us about the Dice Tower cruise very soon. Is it worth it to play the Time Stories expansions in order? Oh yes, it's very worth it. I highly recommend playing them in order. I don't think you have to, but I recommend it. Wow, I got a lot of questions here in Slack, so I'm going to jump over here real quick. Is this the 4 or 6 size player table? I don't know, I guess 6? I didn't know there was a size by players. What determines a game's rating on Board Game Geek? The average of all the people who rated it. What puts it on a hotness list? A lot of people looking at it. What size are the containers you use to hold all the resources on the Le Havre board? I'm trying to get a jump on a reprint. I don't know. I got them and I just put them all down there until I figured out the correct size. I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say maybe they're 2 inches. That seems a little small. Maybe they're 3 inches. But I don't know what the size was. I get questions all the time. People are like, how big is this? How small is that? I'm like, I don't know. And I guess it's laziness. I just don't feel like getting things out and then measuring them with a ruler and centimeter and all that stuff. And I guess that would be super helpful to people. And I apologize. It's just that when someone asks me that, I'm like, oh, okay, should I go get the box out, then measure it, then respond? And I'm just not really wanting to do that right now. I got to go find a ruler somewhere and then find a thing. And so I apologize. I'm being super lazy and not answering that one properly. Hey, Tom, I want to start in the board game world with reviews. I would like to do video reviews. Would you recommend jumping in or starting with text reviews and work your way up? I don't think text reviews are like a lower tier. You can write or you can be on video. I can't write very well, which is why I switched from text to video. Some people can write amazingly well, so I don't think that there's any kind of tier thing there. Why do you keep being so pessimistic about the fundraiser? 250K was so easy to reach. Wow, I don't think I was being pessimistic. I guess that I'm always cautiously hopeful, but I am also trying to be pragmatic about real things. Like, I'm hopeful about life in general. Part of that comes from having a Christian worldview, but I'm hopeful, you know, like I know that everyone goes crazy when different world events happen and things, and I'm pretty hopeful in that regard. I'm hopeful about people. I try to see the best in people. But when it comes to myself, I'm always very cautious to be like, this is how well we'll do this month. This, oh man, and then like, so I keep my mind from thinking about how much we will get in a fundraiser, because then I will start spending that money in my head. There is lots of equipment we need. There are lots of things to do, so I never get that hopeful about it. And I try to be realistic. I don't want to have people's hopes dashed at the end of a thing. When I did the fundraiser, I said this is how much money we needed, and going above and beyond that is great. And even 250 was where I said we would start looking at the studio. 270 definitely happens, because I know that 20,000 is something I could put towards a studio for sure. I'm going to make a phone call today, and I'll probably start looking into things over the next several weeks. But like I said, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I guess I'm afraid to be optimistic, publicly at least. Or even privately. I don't really act different privately. Do you think Fantasy Flight Games will retheme and release Forbidden Stars with a Star Wars theme? Probably, but probably not anytime soon. You said the Star Wars Rebellion is no longer in your top collection. How come? Well, Sam has it, so why should I have it? A couple weeks ago, someone commented that gaming tables are too expensive. You stated that you may know something and ask you about it at a later time. Now, I can't talk about that yet. I'll just, when something like that happens, I know an inexpensive thing is happening, but I will announce it when it can be announced. Is Pitch Car Mini too mini? You know, I've never played Pitch Car Mini, so I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the size of Pitch Car. Would you still have switched to Indiegogo had you known that they were going to abandon PayPal? I don't know. I can't go back in time, but PayPal was definitely one of the reasons that I moved to Indiegogo. During a segment of Board Game Breakfast this morning, you stood in front of the closet in your room. What is the object that hangs just above Spider-Man next to the closet? That is a plaque from YouTube. It is a thing that basically says, congratulations, you reached 250,000, no, 250,000, I wish it was 250,000, 100,000 subscribers. Hang on, there's some stuff on my chair here. That's what it is. It has a glass thing, so it's very shiny. It was hard to see. What was the reaction of your wife, family, when you decided to go full-time game reviewing for your work? Well, from my kids, they didn't really know any difference, so no big deal to them. My wife was very nervous about it because she wanted to see if it would work, but she wanted me to be happy. She's always wanted that to happen. My father was in favor of it, although I don't think he understood what I was doing, and my in-laws just didn't understand. Most of my relatives don't understand what I do, so, you know. A lot of people were very like, are you sure you can make this work? And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to make it work. If I have to go get a part-time job or whatever, I will do. My father always taught me to work hard and provide, and I will do it any means necessary, legal means necessary. And so there you go. Level 7 Omega Protocol expansion, Sam has that one, so probably it will happen. Is Project Elite being considered for Dice Tower Essentials? Well, we did consider it. I really wanted to do it. I really liked the game, but we just couldn't make it work with the miniatures that are in. Arcane Wonder didn't feel very comfortable working with the miniatures, so I am still working on finding a publisher for it. If that happens, I'll get them out. It's not like I own the game, right? But I'm just like an enthusiastic person trying to get the game republished. If you could talk to yourself before you started Dice Tower, what advice would you give yourself? Have fun? You mean like, what would I do differently? I don't know. Where'd you get these white chairs? Costco. Wait for Le Havre reprint or Feast for Odin? Well, I like Le Havre better. I like them both, but I like Le Havre better. Had a really bad experience with Time Story Marcy case. Is it worth doing the others? I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. I don't know. I mean, what your bad experience was. I remember Black Fleet wasn't on your Pirates list. A lot of people love it. Well, it's great. I really like it. It was in my top 15. It just didn't hit my top 10. That's all. A pessimist is an optimist with experience. No, see, look, I don't believe in being a pessimist in general. I'm very worried about being a braggart optimist, I guess is the way, like, we will do this about myself. But about life in general, I very much think being an optimist is the better route. Being a pessimist is just a boring life. You're never going to have any fun. I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale all week next week for work. Are there good gaming events to get me out of the hotel room during the week? Check Miami Board Game Meetup. And there's a meetup in the cool stuff on Wednesday there. You just missed our big one there on Saturday. Are you doing a full review of Days of Ire when I finish playing it? I've only played it co-op so far. I want to play it competitive before we review it. I've always wondered why you post the bulk of your videos at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does that time have any significance to you? Yeah, it's the prime time to post videos. Actually, I post one video at 2 o'clock. That's always the big video of the day. It goes up at 2. And if I can't decide, sometimes one gets posted at 1:30. And occasionally videos get posted at various other times. Just 1 p.m. is just the time I decided on. If you look at a graph of when YouTube videos get viewed, regardless of, I mean, obviously it's going to change as to when I post them. But if, let's say I don't post anything and I look at a graph, the most views are always in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Always. What does the crown next to the ranking on BGG mean? I don't know what that means. I'm really enjoying Onitama. Will future expansions be more cards or can we expect something different? Well, the first expansion, as far as I know, is just going to be more cards. What's the difference between symbology and iconography? I don't know. I use them interchangeably. Just checking Slack here. Not seeing any there, so we'll go back to YouTube. Baseball cap and a t-shirt? I don't. Well, it's because I'm in the middle of I'm going through the room and I'm reorganizing the room. Right now I'm in the middle of sorting out my Eldritch Horror stuff. I had the expansion stuff separated out. I'm kind of mixing it all together. Then I got to sort out Rum and Bones. Then I got to sort out Dice Masters. I'm getting the reviews ready to do this week. There's equipment to sort out. There's just a lot of moving around work to do, and so I decided to wear a t-shirt for today. But I normally wear a collared shirt no matter what. Sometimes these questions are fun for me to read. Like, I just bought Cash Against my group and we really love it. Which expansions would you recommend getting? Well, there's only 2, so I would get both of them. If I was only getting one gift game, which one would it be? It would be Yinch. After that, Devon, or actually the one that Z just showed me, which, not Punked, I forget the name of that one, but that one I also enjoyed a lot too. I've said it before, I was reluctant to offer t-shirts with a Dice Tower logo due to the expense. Would you consider offering a sew-on patch? I think you might be confused there. We do have Dice Tower t-shirts on our website with our logo on them. You can go and order one if you want to. So we have Dice Tower t-shirts. You're talking about the collared shirts with the patch. I decided to not ever sell those because that's a way to know if someone's like a Dice Tower staff or Dice Tower contributor. They will have one of those shirts at conventions, so that's how you can tell. I don't want to give those just willy-nilly to everybody. Does your game group ever do a game weekend? If so, do you guys go from Friday to Sunday? No, I wouldn't. If it ever happened, I wouldn't do it anyway. I guess we do gaming weekends at conventions and things, but I like to spend some of my weekend with my family. Like on a day like we just did a big gaming day Saturday, so I spent the Friday night with my family. I have one of the most questions I get asked in the fundraiser is, do you have more promo packs of this kind? Well, no. If I did, I would have put them up. I can't magically snap my fingers and make more promos appear. I have a certain amount of each of those. And this one's specifically asking about promo pack C. I know that there are still some promo pack Cs available with A and B. You go, Vasel, that's super expensive. You're right, and I apologize. But separating those out required some configuration, and I don't want to do it anyway. If all the A through Cs don't go, then we'll have them at conventions and stuff over the course of the year. Is there an ideal spot to stay at the Caribe Royale for Dice Tower Con? I guess one of the buildings is closest to the convention center, but they all seem pretty good to me. It's not like you have to walk that far to get to your room. I'm not really going to give, I already talked about kind of what my thoughts on a Dice Tower headquarters would be, but I'm going to not really go into more detail into that till I find out what I can get. So I'm very, very new to this territory. I don't know much about looking for this. I don't even know what to ask. It's hard to explain this to like realtors because I'm looking for I already talked to one realtor about it last year, and she was showing me these storefronts. I'm like, I don't need a storefront. I need office space, but office space where I can record and where there can be a studio. So I'm looking not necessarily for industrial. I'm not looking for commercial. I don't actually know what I'm looking for, so there's some confusion there. Czar is the other gift game, that's right. Will individual promos be available on Cool Stuff after the campaign? Possibly, but they will be available way after the campaign because I want to make sure the people who back the campaign get them first. But you could easily get the necessary funds for the studio if you get the C packs from the combo packs. No? I don't know what I mean. You mean for the 2 people who want them? Would that make a big difference? It possibly could, but you could always just support the Dice Tower. See, I really, really, really am trying to get this through to people that the whole point of the fundraiser is to support the Dice Tower. We have these promo packs, and I was talking to someone the other day. We were kind of, commiserating with the fact that we wish we didn't even have to put promo packs in because it's a ton of work. I spend hundreds of hours getting those promo packs, figuring out the promo packs, negotiating with people to get the promo packs, whatever. And then when we get the promo packs, shipping them out to people. I really wish we could just say, hey, we're having a fundraiser. We're raising money for the Dice Tower, and see how it went. I don't know how much money we would get if we did that. I don't think we would. Well, I know we wouldn't get the amount now. And then the people who, so some people, but I mean, it's also cool, right? It's a thank you gift. So I like doing that. But what's unfortunate is people come in and, where's my promo pack? Why can't I get any more of these? What's this? This came late. And people really angry and upset. I mean, there are people from like last year's Kickstarter who they moved in the middle of us sending the thing. They didn't tell us they changed their address, so the first one got bounced or sometimes lost. So then they told us a new address, we sent that, then they didn't get that. And then, I mean, really, people can be really mean and nasty. And then you're like, well, were you ever supporting the Dice Tower, or were you just buying stuff? And I don't ever want it to be something that people just buy stuff. And so sometimes I've seen people say, I'm not going Indiegogo. I'm not going Indiegogo. I'm not going to support the Dice Tower there. I want this pack. And if they don't have that pack, I'm like, well, do I really want you to give me your money anyway? I want people to donate to Dice Tower because they like our content. We're putting out 30 videos a week. I'm trying to be honest here. I'm not trying to, I don't mean to complain or anything, but when I saw Stegmeyer, he left, Jamie Stegmeyer from Stonemaier Games, left Kickstarter because, the reactions that people gave him, and I can see how that is. And I'm not trying to cheat people out of anything. There's some people I've sent packages to 3 or 4 times now, and they still don't get it. Then they get really angry, and it's kind of like, whoa, why are we going through all this? I wish people could just donate without getting the stuff. That's a very long-winded answer. I apologize. And a lot of people do. Many people do donate and not get the stuff with it. But people are like, you need more promo packs, you need more stuff. Well, no, I just need people to decide to donate to the show is what we need to do to make it go up higher. And if it doesn't go up higher, then that amount of people wanting to donate to the show isn't really there. And if I get more money because I had more stuff, then that means next year I need to get even more stuff for it to do well. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to run the fundraising campaign because it's fun, all right? And it definitely raises enough money for me and several employees to have mediocre paying jobs. People think we get rich, we don't. But that's fine. It's a job that I love. All right, I really enjoy doing it. I just am always glad, kind of like the fundraiser's over, and now there's gonna be a lot of work, fulfilling that fundraiser. But I'm glad it's over because I want to get back to actually doing the job and talking about all these games. I've really been enjoying the live plays we've done recently. We've certainly been getting some negative feedback, but mostly positive feedback on that. So we'll probably be doing more of those. What is the game of your right shoulder with the red person wearing a Han Solo outfit? That is asking for troubles. Oh, someone already answered that there. Sorry. Do you ever play a new game by yourself in order to learn it? Sometimes I do that, yes. Realistic shipping time for some of the promos? I don't know what that means. I put down June, and that is my hope and goal. Hopefully that won't get messed up. Last year I said May, and it ended up being August. So my hope is that June is a reasonable time. The command says 3 days left. Why does it say that if you're saying it ends tomorrow? I thought it ended tomorrow. I don't know. I'll have to go look at that. The Verse the Internet videos are tricky to do and time consuming. Are you planning to do any more of those in the near future? I'll possibly do those, but those aren't as fun to do because it's a lot of setup, and because of the delay, it really slows those games down. So I'll do those once in a while, but I found that people are also enjoying the games that we play live. The Scythe game that we did last week certainly got a lot of views. So, what's my favorite kind of ride at an amusement park? Roller coasters. Although nowadays it's turning more into those see some really cool thing. Like I like a roller coaster mixed with a visual effect. Like if you've ever been to Universal Studios Orlando, I really like the Mummy ride there. I love that kind of ride where you go through and see stuff, but it's also kind of a fast-moving ride. I've not played Gloomhaven yet. Once I do, we'll talk about it. I haven't got it yet, actually. Would I consider doing another Quiplash video with my family or the guys? Yeah, we'll do some more of those as time goes by. I just don't want to run that into the ground. How do you feel about AEG bundling expansions like trains, planes, and automobiles? And do you think we'll see more of this practice in the future? I'm very much opposed to it. I think it's bad to bundle expansions together because I don't want, like, in, let's say for this specific one, I like trains. I mean, I really like trains. I very much like automobiles. Hate planes. Why should I have to buy an expansion for a game I hate? That makes no sense to me. Publishers have been making upgrade packs from old editions to new editions recently. Should this be standard practice? I don't know. It's whatever's financially viable for the company. If it's standard practice, I think upgrade packs are really cool. What will happen to the room I'm in when we move to a studio? It will become my office, home office / family room. Where did Z get his Voice of the People title from? Nah, I just made it up. So I finally played Arkham Horror LCG. Thoughts? I liked it. It was a very fun game. It's cool, but it's a little too small for me. By that I mean, I like the feelings that it gives me. It's like, ooh, we're going through exploring stuff. But Mansions of Madness, which is right here behind me, you can't see it, but Mansions of Madness does all that stuff in a much better way, so I'd rather play Mansions of Madness. Some people are asking questions on YouTube and Slack. Please don't do that. Ask on one or the other. Otherwise, I will not answer questions from you anymore because you're clogging up both, and that's not fair. The third camera, how would that work? Is there an example of how it will be used? I don't see how it would improve the videos much. No, just a third camera. A third camera would help in some videos. Like, for example, when we did the marathon and you're seeing times up, it'd be cool to see one camera facing one of the groups of people, one camera facing the other group of people, and maybe one camera on the people at whole. You don't need 3 cameras for everything, but sometimes it would be useful. Do you feel you can trust a reviewer who lives in Florida when his arms are so untanned? Yeah, I don't care. I've always thought the fact that people use tanning as a sort of... Actually, I don't know what it is. It's like a status symbol. It's like, oh, you're tan. That's good. Yay, I burned my skin. I've never understood why people want to get a tan or don't want to get a tan. Does it make you look better to have a tan? I don't think so. I've never understood the fascination with tanning or the whole, like, I usually wear shirts that come down to my elbows, which is why I don't have a tan up here. So I wear this and people are like, oh, look at that. Cool. I mean, it doesn't actually negatively affect me, but I've always kind of fascinating to see how that works. Who knows? What do you think of the Innovation Deluxe Edition? It's coming out with 4 expansions. Is there a chance that the Daystar reviews it? I don't know anything about that. Did they just announce that? 3 individual words to say board games to you. People. Non-digital. Fun. Is there a good cooking themed board game? Well, there's some cooking themed board games, but they're mostly for kids. Trying to think if there's an adult version of a cooking game. Maybe someone can mention one in the comments for you. What live plays are you planning for this week? Well, I'm hoping to do some Arcadia Quest with pets. I think that'd be fun. We're definitely going to be playing through the Far East War 1592. That's tomorrow. Likely we're going to be playing through Clank with the expansion, because I have the expansion for that, so that's going to happen. And we'll see what else happens. I have some ideas, but I don't want to really talk about them because I need to go over with the other guys, like what games we're going to play, what games can we fit in time, etc. Let's see here. What do you think of the campaign structure of Arkham Horror LCG? That's fine. I like campaigns. When you throw out expansion boxes or game inserts, is there any remorse in that? No. There is zero remorse in that. Do you ever feel like you're throwing away a part of the total production? No. Why? How precious is air to you? That's my question to you, is because that's what you're basically storing. You are storing air when you keep all these expansion boxes. I have 7 kids. I don't have room to store empty boxes. I don't have room. I want to keep as many games in my collection. I'm like sad right now that for Eldritch Horror, I have to store it all in 2 boxes. And Rum and Bones, I have to store everything in 2 boxes now. And so I'm going to keep those boxes. I'm going to keep both stored, but I'm not keeping things in like 10 boxes. Arcadia Quest is going to be, Arcadia Quest might be moving to 3 boxes with how much stuff I got. You know, it is what it is. Pretty soon I'm going to have like 5 games in my collection. Did my opinion regarding Reddit's negativity towards the Dice Tower change with my recent AMA? Well, for the most part, Reddit is not a, you know, the majority of people are nice there, but there are some, you know, vicious comments and threads have shown up there. But I would say probably you're right. Probably the same amount show up on BGG. I just don't read the general forums at BGG as much as I read like our Dice Tower Guild. The AMA that I did last week was very nice for the most part, until I stopped answering questions and a few people came in and, you know, said some meaner stuff. But it is what it is. You know, that's always going to happen on the internet. If you get too upset over that, you'll just have to leave the internet. What RPG will you be playing live next year? Well, actually, it's going to be this year, hopefully. I don't know yet what we're going to be playing live. I'll talk to the guys. We'll figure it out. I'm pretty open to almost anything. I don't know that I want to play a horror RPG. I think I want to play either fantasy or Star Wars or superhero or something like that. Let's see here. If you could replace the meeple as a sort of mascot for modern games, what would you replace it with? The die? What's the heaviest game you have, not including Hero Escape? Definitely Pitch Car. When I put everything together, it weighs about 60 or 70 pounds. No, maybe that's too much. It might weigh less than that. How many Tums did you eat during the past few weeks of the fundraiser? Actually, I was very nervous until we hit 200,000. That was our goal. Once I reached our goal, everything after that, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, I mean, I'm not really sitting on pins and needles. I'm not even really, like, watching the fundraiser like, ooh, what's happening now? What's going on now? Looking at it. I mean, I'll refresh it just now to look at. So it's at 256. That's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty pumped because I kind of want to do another live marathon. That last live marathon was very fun. And we might even do the live marathon sooner rather than later. But either way, I got stuff to do. You know, there's things to sort out. There's things to put together. So we'll see. Do you ever look at your older videos to see what was on your shelf then versus what you have now? Yeah, I do that a lot of times. I look at the shelf and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I kept those games. I don't usually miss games too much. If I really want to play a game, I can go find someone who has that game to play. There's just not room to play all the games. Tom, I'm often impressed by your strong communication skills. Are you ever at a loss for words? Oh, it happens often. I have kids. Come on. There's always a loss for words sometimes in that regard. All right, let's see what Slack questions are. How does the underwater part in Clank expansion work? Looks like you have to, if you're in an underwater space when you're moving, you have to make sure you come above water at some point or other or you take a damage. Some spots, but there's like a little scuba helmet you can get that makes you go back from one spot to another. You don't have to worry about that breathing thing. Some spots when you move from one spot to the other, it's 2 movement normally, but if you have that breathing helmet, it only is 1, so you're like swimming from one spot to the other. And there's some underwater creatures and stuff. It doesn't look that complex, actually. What is your opinion on wooden game inserts? Is the weight worth the organization, in your opinion? Yeah, I have to say I think my favorite inserts are frankly the ones that Sam just showed for Star Wars Rebellion. The plastic ones, the molded plastic. There's very few of those, but I like those a lot. Because they're lightweight, but they're also cool. My favorite hymn? He Lives. Is Tomric your favorite Arcadia Quest character? Yeah, probably. Would you do a top 10 potentially at some point? That's an interesting, fun top 10 list to do. I might do that at some time. Are you surprised that so many people pay hundreds of dollars to dine with you? I am, although you would be surprised how that doesn't make us as much money as you might think, because when you get paid for that, then you take everyone else to eat, including me eating too, so I guess I get a free meal out of the deal. It's not always makes us a ton of money on those, but am I surprised that people do it? I am. I've just gotten used to it. I think you should buy some games instead. Are there any aliens for Cosmic Encounter that you would recommend for only 3 players? Yes, I would recommend you close the box, put it away, and play a 3-player game. Cosmic Encounter is an awful 3-player game. You read a lot of books. If all the books you read in a year's time were physical books, would they take up more or less space than your game collection? Probably less. Yeah, that's a lot of books. I don't think I read, I think I could fit 300 books easily, maybe more on the shelves behind me. I do not read a book a day. I'm currently reading, I know what I'm reading. I'm reading Black Collar. Now, this is an early Timothy Zahn novel, which I basically got because it's Timothy Zahn, and I've liked his other stuff. And wow, this is one of my favorite books I've read in a long time. I'm really, really loving this. It's like a resistance. Aliens have conquered Earth and the other planets, and there's a resistance against the aliens using these black collars. They're essentially ninjas in the future. Space ninjas. Really fun. Really enjoying it. Timothy Zahn just knows how to grab you from the instant in. I always find it fascinating. I see Timothy Zahn every year. He comes to Origins and attends the Christian service there, and I almost always preach the Christian service, and then afterwards he always comes to me and engages me and talks about it, and very, very, very cool discourse back and forth. I'm just very impressed, and I'm sitting there trying not to go, I love your books! He's a neat guy. Why do you include setup time for HeroScape? Surely it's an appointment game where the terrain is set up ahead of time. I don't understand that. You still have to set it up. What are your perceptions on the Descent app and playing cooperatively? Yeah, I don't really like it so far. Good day to you, Tom. Well, good day to you, sir. I can never tell if good day is like an insult or not. I'm assuming it's not. Are there any games you prefer to play without any expansions? Race for the Galaxy is fine without expansions. Some of these bigger games, Elder Char, I can play them without the expansions. There's a game that I was just thinking about that I was like, oh yeah, without the expansions, that game's fine. I don't need to add the expansion in, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it was. Let's see here. Going back to Slack. What's my MBTI? ESTJ? Oh man, I can never remember what it is. I take the test every once in a while and I always forget what it is. All I remember is it's E. I know it's not that's a surprise to no one, I'm sure. I know it's E, but I don't remember what the other letters are. Is Shot and Totten in the Battle Line box? Did you keep both? Is Battle Line still on my shelves? Maybe it is. I just haven't replaced it with Shot and Totten yet. I thought I got rid of Battle Line. I don't know what his box is now. I'm like all nervous. I don't remember having a Battle Line box in my videos. Maybe I do, and I just haven't replaced it. I'm just going to keep one. Would you be going back to Orlando for the marathon? Don't know. Have you considered a live audience? I don't know. Tom, you stopped writing the numbers on the board game breakfast videos. Are you still going down? I assume you mean the weight numbers. And I assume you're asking because I'm looking a little pudgy in this video. I am going down now. I went up a bit, and so I'm definitely trying to go down. I'm definitely on a very strict diet, especially this week. So after Christmas and convention season, from January, February, March, April, I have a good, well, January's over, but February, March, I'm not doing anything in general, so I can really work hard in this. So I'm trying to keep my weight down for sure. I would love to play for a premium item exclusive to Dice Tower Fundraiser. I think many people would be interested in premium items. Especially if we can't go to a conference, I think that's a good idea. Example, Queen's Gambit or special storage signed copies of games. It's underneath Twilight Struggle. Where is that? Oh, there it is, Battle Line. There we go, out of my collection. See how simple that was? All right. Thank you. All right, I don't know about this premium item stuff. I'm not a big fan of exclusives, so, I mean, I know you're saying sign games and send them off, but let's say I was going to sign games and send them off. That means I would actually have to get the game, get it to me, open it up, sign it, and then ship it. Shipping for us is not an easy task. We have to go to the post office and ship things and pack it up. That's a really expensive proposition for us to do. Sometimes people send us games and ask us to sign them, and they give us shipping things, and that's all well and good, and we're certainly willing to do it, but it's still, even if you send us the shipping labels to do it, it still involves work because we then have to, somebody has to drive to the post office if it's not anywhere close to us. Drive to the post office and send it out. I guess we could leave it for the mailman, but again, it has to be packed. There's just work involved in that, and that's fine, but when something like that happens, it takes away from the work that we're actually doing. Have you ever looked into how complicated it would be to close caption your videos rather than just let YouTube auto-generate the captions? Yeah, you look into that. That is a super expensive thing. Anytime someone talks about closed captioning videos, I'm thinking, wow, you know, oh, that's probably easy to do. No, not even a little close. That would add, I would have to hire someone and that would be their whole job and they'd probably quit. When did I first realize I loved my wife? It was July 4th. Let's see. 18, 22, 95. Yeah, 1995. July 4th, 1995. I actually have all these dates written down. I had the date when I first met her written down, the first date, when I knew I was in love with her, when I actually told her I was in love with her. I kept track of that. I don't keep track of a lot of things, but I kept track of that. So, yeah, that's the date you asked. Is there a colonist review coming soon? No, I don't have it, and I don't think I'm interested in an 8-hour Euro game. And yes, I know before we get to that, people are like, but you could play just part of it, but then you wouldn't, then people, if I played part of it and said I didn't like it, everybody would be like, well, you need to play the whole thing to get it. It might happen, but highly doubtful. Jason hated it, so. And he's the one person. Any teaser spoilers you can offer us on the change in format after Dice Tower Podcast 500? No, but I will say it's not going to be like that massive of a change, right? There's 2 major changes that are happening to it, and you can find out in episode 500. Aren't the walls of your new component drop target too short? Won't pieces go everywhere? Yes, they are, but the table itself keeps things from bouncing off, so we'll be fine. Would you rather have the metal coins or realistic-looking tokens for Scythe? Mean like one or the other? I'd rather have the realistic tokens, but I like metal coins. I'd rather have both. I can see I'm really, really, really far behind in questions, and that's probably because I keep going to Slack and answering them. My friends hate Catacombs, but I love it. Would you get rid of a game you like just because it never hits the table, or because your game group doesn't like it, or even hates it? If I had a game that everyone but me hated, I'd still keep it if I liked it, but I would find someone to play it with, because there's no game in the world that only one person likes, except for, never mind, I'm not going to, okay, never mind. Do a lot of German speakers comment on your pronunciation of German game names like Die Macher? Yeah, I'm just bad at pronouncing things, but I'm bad at pronouncing things in English. Come on, that's like a given on the show. All right, well, what was my collegiate in PCC? Beta Kappa Delta. What do you think about Arcadia Quest Inferno? I just opened the box and looked at it, so I don't know yet. Next Q&A with Laura. Someone remember to ask her what happened on July 4th, 1995. Nothing. We just had a picnic that day for July 4th, and we went out and spent the whole picnic, spent the whole day together, went back, spent the whole evening on the phone together, and when it was done, I was like, yeah, I love this girl. Sounds like Tom is getting kickbacks from Slack. No way. Slack, first of all, they're crazy expensive. If you want to like upgrade to the premium version of Slack, it's like $6 something a person. So if you're about like 1,000 people, it's $6,000, and that's a month. It's crazy. No way would I promote that service for them. Their free service is great, but kickbacks? Yeah, right. Oh, hang on. I cannot read that language. Have your thoughts on lost cities changed over the years? Slightly. In fact, it's coming up in my 10-year look back video this Wednesday. Have you played the 4-player board game version? Yes, don't like it. If you call a game company and get a head honcho instead of a support person, is that normal? Yeah, it's probably normal actually, because most game companies are one person. At what age were you in 6th grade? I don't know. You guys can figure out the math, but I graduated when I was 17 years old. I went to college. My birthday's in September, so I started my freshman year right after I turned 18. So I started kindergarten. I turned 5 in September, and I started kindergarten then. I know that nowadays that's not. They usually make you wait till after like if your birthday doesn't come in like July or sooner, you can't start. Things were different in 1981, I guess. And I think it depends on the kid anyway. I don't see any reason to rush kids through school. Some people are like, well, my kid's 16 and a senior. Yay. I guess that's cool. But yeah, I never understood the whole age prognosis, especially if you're like a year ahead of my kid's a grade ahead. Well, that's cool. And it always brings me back to that thing that 80% of Americans think their kids are above average. But that's an impossibility, right? But your kids are not above average. Your kids are above average to you, of course. And everyone I meet, their kids are smarter than everyone else. My kids are all over the spectrum, right? I know which ones are above average intelligence and which ones aren't. But I also know which ones I love the best, which is all of them. In case they're watching this video. But really, no, it's not. It's not really. I do love them all. They're all very different. And I don't know how I got off on that. What do you do when a publisher does not respond to your emails when you're missing a piece from a new bought game? I don't know. I might post on Board Game Geek, I guess, and see if someone else has that piece. Maybe someone else knows a better way to get a hold of the company. Respectfully, which means it's not about to be respectful, but why are you such a jerk? See, I told you guys. About unboxing, I feel like you're talking down to me for enjoying something. It hurts. I don't know, I just said that my video, I think unboxing videos are boring. People tend to like them, so I'm putting them up. But I'm trying to make them more interesting than other people. I'm trying to be quick, fast, quick and dirty and get in and out. I think that if I was going to watch an unboxing video, that's what I want to watch. I've always been fascinated by the people who watch videos where the person's sitting there going, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's thick. It's kind of like the thickness of a tile in Takal, but a little bit less than Java. I wonder oh, that's interesting. Oh, and if you look there, you can see that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Just quick unbox the game. Just quick look, neat, wow, ooh, wow, boom, next one. I don't know, that's just me though. If you like them, that's fine, but I'm gonna keep calling them boring. Besides, I'm the one doing it, so I'm allowed to call myself boring, I think. Ooh, relaxing games. That's a good top 10 list thing. I think I might do that with Sam and Z sometime. What's our top 10 relaxing games? Games that are just relaxing. Lifeboats. Oh, people always ask about Patreon. I don't want to talk about fundraising all year round. I only want to do it 1 month a year. I hate the fact that I have to mention it in every board game breakfast and mention it in every show during that time frame. If I do it all year round, it would get old. And it's honestly annoying too, right? A little bit. I'm sure you guys have listened to shows where they're constantly saying, support us, support us, support us. It's the same reason we don't say, Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. I mean, I try to say it a few times, but that stuff's kind of like just this constant give us, give us, give us, give us, whether it's give us money or give us feedback. And again, I'm trying to be careful. I'm not trying to criticize people who do it, but I just don't want to do that all the time. I just want to actually give the content out. I know you got to promote yourself to some degree, but sounds like Jimmy was just about to come in my room and was stopped by a sister who knows I'm recording. He is sad. Sorry, Jimmy. Why are you, Z, and Sam not involved in Favorite Game Friday? They seem to be doing fine without us. I don't need to be involved in everything. I'm not, like, for example, you don't see a segment from me on Throw Punch Launch or Board Game Blender. I'm just doing my own stuff. I'm trying to spread out as much as we can on the Dice Tower. Dice Tower is not Tom Vasel. It's not Tom, Sam, and Z. I want it to be more than that, beyond that, and be more people. Let's see. Are you planning to watch the new DuckTales cartoon? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love DuckTales. I really like DuckTales. I mean, I happened to be a kid when it was just, you know, came into full bloom, and Launchpad McQuack became one of my favorite characters in a cartoon ever. Really, really like that. Let's see here. Unboxing videos lets us live vicariously through you because I don't get 400 games a day. I maybe get to open a cool stuff box every other month. Well, that's still pretty cool. And yes, I understand that. I know it's really cool to open a box and get games. That's a fascinating thing. I still remember the first times I got those big boxes from Fun Again and cool stuff, and you open them and you're like, in the peanuts, you're like, oh, that's right, I ordered this game. Oh, I can't wait to play it. I get that, right? And I understand people like to live vicariously. I'm just saying, a lot of unboxing videos, even things I'm interested in, I'm like, ooh, there's an unboxing video of this speaker I'm interested in, and then the guy is so slow about it. I'm like, oh man, this is boring. I just find the way they are done is boring, that's all. So anyway, it's going to be a running joke that I'm going to go with, and if you guys know anything, I can run a joke into the ground. Let's see. How do you manage to get so much content out and actually play the games? I just keep going all the time. Are your and Melody's taste in games different? Well, yeah, there's a lot of games we like, but you guys can tell when we're playing. She is definitely more of a Euro gamer. I'm more of a let's fight type thing. Will Robbers be the new Shut the Door if you move to his studio? That doesn't make any sense at all. I shouldn't have read that. Would you recommend 4 players only for Time Stories? No, we've been playing it with 3 players, actually. We've been having a great time. I really like 3 players. Favorite John Hurt role? Well, that's an interesting question. Let me pull up a John Hurt filmography. It's probably not from Harry Potter. Let me see. What would I have really liked him in? Well, the War Doctor. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought he really did a good job as the War Doctor in Doctor Who: Day of the Doctor. I thought that was pretty cool. He was in Indiana Jones. He was in V for Vendetta. Yeah, he was good in V for Vendetta. I don't know what my favorite filmography would be, or film from him would be. I'm like spinning down here and looking. He was in King Ralph. I just watched King Ralph a few days ago. Oh, that's right. He was in King Ralph. Yeah, that was good. I always thought he did a good job in anything he's in. Blah, 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 blah. Harry Potter. Hellboy. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Doctor Who version of him. I really liked him in that. He's been in a ton of movies. All right, we're totally getting off track here. So let's get back to the Q&A. We're almost done with it. Oh, he's in Alien. Yeah, but I don't like the movie Alien. I just don't like horror movies that much in general. I find that one kind of scary and gross. Between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Project Elite, what would you get? Project Elite. What's the ideal number of players for Cosmic Encounter? I like it with 6. Would you recommend playing with the same people throughout Legacy-type games? If possible, I think you should. Please talk to your people at Disney and get Tailspin remade. Yes, I'm so very well connected at Disney. That'd be cool, though. I like Tailspin a lot. A lot. That's probably my second favorite of the Disney afternoon. Then Rescue Rangers. Those are my 3. My wife likes Gummy Bears, but she's just wrong. It's DuckTales, Tailspin, and Rescue Rangers. Never really got into Darkwing Duck that much. Or the Goofy Afternoon. Gummy Bears were okay. But the first 3, no, I love those. Man, I missed the Disney afternoon. That was a good time. When designing a game, do you recommend buying a classification machine or rather taking the materials to a shop and letting them do it for you? I would recommend using some paper and a scissors. Really, don't go to too much work. The game might be terrible. That's a lot of work. Gummy Bears is B-A-E. I don't know what that means. Bay? Buy? Bo? How dare you, sir? Is this because I made fun of Gummy Bears? I'm sorry, guys. Gummy Bears is okay. They have a great theme song. But they're just not as good as DuckTales, Tailspin, or Rescue Rangers. It's just the truth. Gotta hear truth. Have you read any John Piper works? Yes, I have. What do you think? I think he's a good writer. Is there a company that's done the best with games in one world? Probably Fantasy Flight with their whatever their world is called for Runebound. Tamaria, I think. That's a pretty good world. Have you combined multiple board games with similar themes into one epic game? No. If you had to stop recording and play a game right now, what are you in the mood to play? Probably Eldritch Horror, just because I'm sorting it out. Actually, no, I'm really jonesing to play the new Clank. This past Saturday, we had a gaming day, and I played 7 new games, and 5 of them were bad. It was a really bad run for me. And the 2 that I did like, I liked okay. Well, okay, I had a 7 and a 6. The 7 was pretty good. But the rest were bad. And there was a couple that were horrible. And it's still a great day of gaming, though, right? Because I don't mind playing new bad games. I just feel bad for the people that I inflict these upon. Oh, no, never mind. I did play another decent game. I played 1 7 and 2 6s. I know you're like sitting there, what are these games? You'll find out soon enough, for sure. Although I usually spread the bad games out over the course of weeks. I did like 4 bad reviews last week, and I feel a little bit bad about that. This week I am doing only 1 negative review. Here are the reviews coming this week. You can try to guess. I'm going to do Millions of Dollars, Cat Town, Assault of the Giants, Orcs Must Die, the board game, Robo Rally, a Robo Rally comparison with the original Robo Rallies, Carnage, Starfall, and Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. And now I'll mix these up a little bit here, and I'll tell you what the ratings for all these games are. So we got 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 4, 6, 8. Guess I'm telling you what most of them are going to be 6s this week. 1 gets an 8, 1 gets a 4, and the rest are 6s, I think, of everything I'm reviewing this week. Yep, that's the truth of it. All right, cool. Do I read Babylon Bee? I do. It's one of the few things in there that makes me laugh out loud. All right. Hey, we're past time, so time is up, folks. Thanks so much for watching the Q&A. Thanks for the different people who asked questions. I know I didn't get to everyone's questions. I know at the one point I jumped all the way down to the bottom and missed a whole pile of people's questions. I apologize. Maybe you'll get your question answered in a future time. To make up for it, I'm going to zoom up in the middle of that big pile I skipped and answer one question. Okay, I'm looking for a question. There's actually people, I guess they knew I wasn't answering questions, so. If you could give any game a no-holds-barred mechs versus minions component upgrade treatment, what would it be? It would be Cosmic Encounter, because why would I not pick my favorite game for that? All right, actually, I like the components for Cosmic Encounter just fine. What's my favorite game where I would want to see the components upgraded? I don't know. It's an interesting one. At this point, probably Project Elite, right? All right, well, thanks so much for watching, everyone. This has been another Q&A with Tom Vasel, again recorded on the 30th of February. At the time of this ending of this one, we are at, on our fundraiser, $256,598. That $260,000 stretch goal just might happen, or might not. We'll see. So anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower Q&A. Thanks so much. Cool. Cool. Finished.